In this video, I'm going to show a suggested, recommended file and folder organization method. You've got to put your Revit models somewhere, and you probably have your own organization. So this is just a recommendation in case there's any confusion about a good way to store your models. Now, this is going to be a method for if you're storing your Revit Central models on a local server somewhere. It's also applicable if you're just working as a one-person shop, so you're not work sharing with anyone else, and you're just working locally off of your computer. That's also fine. If you are going to be cloud hosting on ACC, Autodesk Construction Cloud, that's a different ballgame. We'll cover that in a different video. Okay, so let's say that you've got your project folder. Today we'll be working on project 42. So go into your project folder. You probably have, and if you don't, you'll probably want to have some folder that's for incoming files. That's just everything that comes in from anyone, client, architect, other consultants, etc. And so in here, in the incoming files, I've placed the incoming transmission of architectural and structural models. Now, I've named these intentionally something not obvious, something kind of garbage, because that happens sometimes, and I wanted to demonstrate how to deal with that. So this is the architect's model, and this is the structural model. The structural model has, some internal project reference number, and the architectural model has the project indication P42 for project 42, but then they've dated it with when they transmitted it to you. And so I'm going to show how I would deal with getting models with names like this. And then we go back up one, there's a folder called BIM. You could call it Revit, you could call it models, whatever you want. And then in there, my minimum suggested folders are families, links, and archive. And so links is where you would put the architectural and structural models. Under here in BIM, this is where you would have the MEP model or models. Families is where you would stash like title blocks and things like that if necessary. Archive's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so let's organize our models. The first thing to do is deal with those linked models. So I'm going to copy the architectural. I'm just going to copy both of them, and I'm going to come over into the links and paste them in here, and then I'm going to rename them. So this I would call it something like, let's say P42 arc, and then I always put the year version of Revit in the model name for every model that I'm working with. And so in this project's case, it is Revit 2023. Very important that everyone is on the same page. Revit models are not backwards compatible, meaning you can't save a Revit 2024 model as a 2023 model. Upgrading is a one-way street. All right, for structural, I'm going to go P42. I can never decide between struct or struct. Let's do that. Struct 23. Okay. Those are there. Now let's come back up to probably somewhere else on your server, on your hard drive. You've got a folder for your templates and resources and things. It's probably not under the projects folder, but it's somewhere where you would have a folder named something like Revit template and warehouse models. And then that is where the template would be. And so wherever that is, and depending on your, if you're a single sole operator or multiple, you might want this folder to be read-only, write protected. So only certain individuals have permissions to write to this model, because you don't want someone to accidentally upgrade it or mess with it. So mind that, but as long as that's good, you come in here, just copy this. You notice this is an RVT. This is not an RTE. We call it the template, but it's not a, technically speaking, it's not a Revit template file, which is a different kind of thing. RevX doesn't use those for a variety of reasons. Okay, so copy that, Control C, come back over to your project, and go just to the main BIM folder here. Paste that in, and then we're going to rename it P42. And this is going to be our MEP model, and we're going to leave that 23 in there. Okay, And so that is my recommended folder structure and organization and how to get your links and your template model in.